This week on Prepping 2.0.
Concealed carry in 2021 for men and women. And as usual, it'll have its Prepping 2.0 flavor that is, candidly, a little more comprehensive than, some other treatments of the topic.
When disaster strikes, will you be prepared? This is Prepping 2.0 with authors and prepping experts Glenn Tate and Shelby Gallagher.
Online at prepping2-0.com.
Get ready. Prepping 2.0 coming in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome, everyone. This is Shelby Gallagher over here at Prepping 2.0. Welcome, everyone. Just want to say a quick hello and shout out to my co-host in life and co-host here on Prepping 2.0, Glenn Tate.
Hello, hello. Hey, we have a great show. I know I always say that, but this is a great show.
We have a great show, period.
It's timely. It's stuff nobody else covers. It is concealed carry in 2021 for men and women. And as usual, it'll have its Prepping 2.0 flavor that is, candidly, a little more comprehensive than, some other treatments of the topic. But before we dive into that, we have a few quick items.
This is that time when we always talk about the top 100 things that disappear fastest in a collapse. And I love think about this. Who wishes that they would have prepped better?
Bosnians.
They came up with a list of top 100 things that disappear the fastest in a collapse. You can see that on our website at prepping2-0.com. Number 2 this week, water filters and purifiers.
Oh, heck yeah. I mean, it's one of those things. It's so important. We all know it's important, and it's often one of the things that is the lowest on the list of prepping to-do items. We're so used to water coming out of the tap. But we can save all the analysis of water, and I can simply refer you to episode 92 of Prepping 2.0, which aired on August 5th, 2020, and that was the episode we did entirely on water. I have to say, one of our very best episodes, especially on very concrete, topical, factual stuff.
Got into the woods on water. Very much so.
It was good stuff. Well, lurkers come out of the shadows. What do we mean by that? Well, there are a lot of you listening on terrestrial radio. Thank you, by the way. And a lot of you listen to us on the various platforms, the free show basically out there. And you keep hearing about this cool after show. And you keep hearing about the goodie bags and the thumb drives with stuff and the ability to ask guest questions and all these cool things. And you say, well, how can I have that? Well, the answer is a whopping $2 a month or more for a Patreon sponsorship. You can help us out with that. All the information on that is at our website, prepping2-0.com, at the big orange Support Us on Patreon button. Click that on. It's very easy to do. And we would love to have you. And then you can listen to the after show, and you don't have to sit around and lurk and wonder what it's all about. Well, fanfare for announcements. We have more good news about PAM Radio. PAM Radio, very quickly, is a set of electronic, more on that in a moment, electronic flashcards that teach preppers what they need to know about ham radio and comms. It's all the stuff you need to know and none of the stuff you don't. It's been extremely successful. It's gone bananas.
Oh, people love it.
Hundreds and hundreds of preppers out there. We've got some great reviews, and there's some more coming. We're going to be on some YouTube channels and a bunch of other stuff. So the way to find out more about that is pam-radio.com, pam-radio.com. One note I would like to tell folks: when you hear the word flashcards, you assume they're laminated 3x5 index cards that, come in the mail. These are not. These are digital electronic flashcards. You buy them. You get a link by email. You hit the link and it downloads the cards, the image, if you will, of the cards onto whatever device it is that you click the link on. So you buy a link, you click a link, and the images of the cards go onto your phone or your tablet or your computer, whatever it may be. And there you have it.
And one little kind of nugget of good advice folks have told us is like, if they make a point to open that up on their tablet, they've really liked it because then they can kind of have PAM Radio on the go, take it with them on their tablet. So think about that. So it's been kind of fun. So one thing that we always want to acknowledge, we couldn't do this show without our sponsors. Want to give a quick, awesome shout out to Emp Shield. They have created devices that protect your devices from EMPs or CMEs, coronal mass mass ejections.
Yay!
I did it, and I did it with confidence. So check them out. Again, go to our website, prepping2-0.com. Jump over to Friends and Affiliates, and you can find them there and find that their device that will either pair up with your car or your home, protect your devices. And if you use the term prepping 2.0 at checkout, you get $50 off per device.
Nice.
Which is really awesome. So let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it. So we're going to jump into our topic, and it's called Concealed Carry in 2021 for Men and Women. We realized, Shelby and I, sitting around talking this morning, this is what we talk about in our marriage. Kind of weird, but I don't know, it kind of benefits you guys, right? You get a lot of cool topics. We were saying, hey, there's so many, like tons of new gun owners and tons of new concealed carry permit holders, 2021 emptied gun store shelves, as we all know. So a concealed carry topic would be pretty timely to many of you. And even if you've been concealed carrying for a while, I know you'll glean something out of this show. And specifically, if you're a man who's been concealed carrying for a long time, you're going to learn some stuff, the woman's perspective and some particular, concealed carry products for women that I think will add to your knowledge base on this. Yes.
And if I may add to that, there's been tons of new products,
yes,
new and improved since, probably in the last 18 months to 2 years that have made it, I think, an even way better. And we'll talk about those. Yeah.
And so we call it concealed carry in 2021 because there have been some updates on equipment, like Shelby mentioned. Specifically, we're going to talk about shoulder holsters. Mm-hmm. And the second thing about the 2021-ness, and again, I make up a term every single show I try, is that there might be some new potential carrying situations. This isn't a gun control show because we all hate gun control, so we all know that. There might be a Biden ban on semi-autos, or some of the blue states might start banning semi-autos, which would include, of course, handguns. And so that might mean that revolvers just suddenly become an option, a better option. So we're going to talk about this as it relates to revolvers because, see, what do, Shelby? We look over the horizon. We see stuff coming. Mm-hmm. We get information out to people, and they have information ahead of anybody else. What we do. It's what we do. So the other part of the title of the show is it's concealed carry for men and women, and that's because we're covering both here. And we're going to specifically look at this situation from the standpoint of men who want to get their ladies carrying. Now, gentlemen out there, you may have a tough time getting your lady to carry. I do not have that problem. Not at all. And so there's that. So the first thing we want to talk about is the need to carry a handgun. And we're done with that topic because it's pretty doggone obvious. Yes. No discussion necessary, right, Shelby? If anything, I think you would agree with me. There is even more of a need to carry now. Crime's going up, stuff's crazy, all these things.
And police response times are not what they used to be. Let's put it that way, yes.
Exactly. There's some unaccountability roaming in some cities in particular. I mentioned this, but there might be some new bans on semi-autos in some of the blue states that now the state governments can do whatever they want, and there's no more, Republican House or Senate or something like that. And so it doesn't have to be a big federal ban for this issue to affect you, right? Oh, and speaking of blue states, move the heck out.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway.
All right, anyway.
Yeah, let's keep going. So I mentioned you might want to get a revolver, and you might want to find a way to carry a revolver. It's slightly different sometimes than a semi-automatic gun. Good luck finding them. You can still find them if you try. There aren't many left, and you're just going to have to try hard. I want to plant this in your mind. Think about revolvers. Maybe you haven't, because quite honestly, revolvers are not nearly as awesome as semi-automatic handguns for a variety of reasons. Firepower, the width of the thing for concealed carry, all that other stuff. The same principle applies to lever guns for rifles. This isn't the lever gun show. This is concealed carry pistol show. But think about this. In a blue state, or even a red state where you don't need to worry about the state government hassling you, but you need to have a rifle in your truck, or you need to cruise around. I mean, you may need to get out of a vehicle and have a rifle. Well, you don't want to sit there and commit a felony and have everybody see it and have to worry about that. You can get a lever action rifle. They're perfect for this. So I just wanted to let you know about that. I have acquired a lever action in 22 to practice with, and a lever action in 357/38. That is my new cruising around. What if it's against a lot of be seen with an AR-15? So there you go. We're going to cover some basic now, what I'm about to do is list. I'm going to list off some basic carry methods just to give you a flavor of where we're going. And then we'll talk in depth about this. And the format of that will be, I will bring up a concealed carry method, mention it sort of in a general sense, as it applies to guys maybe. And then the cool part of this show is Shelby is going to say, well, here's why this works well for women. Here's why it doesn't work well for women. And she's going to give that female perspective on it. So to list them off, we have a belt holster carry, and that would be inside the waistband and outside the waistband, two different kinds. There's off-body carry, which would include cargo pockets, not recommended, and a purse. I think we're going to hear a lot about purse carry in this from Shelby. Let's see. There is pocket carry. I mentioned that. There's ankle holsters, which we'll spend about 12 seconds on because that's all the time they deserve, in my opinion. And then shoulder holsters, the forgotten carry method that I this year have been experimenting with and have had extremely good results with. So, and more sort of outline stuff, fundamental preliminary stuff. There are some considerations when it comes to concealed carry that you may not have thought of. A lot of folks would focus on the firearm and maybe the holster, but there's some other things to consider because concealed carry, like food and like water and like comms and everything else, is a system. There's a lot to it. The first one is weather. This is going to vary in your region. And I personally, and Shelby too, we have a winter concealed carry setup and we have a summer concealed carry setup. And just acknowledge and understand that weather is going to dictate this. If you're trying to do a one size fits all, it's going to be tough to do. Another consideration for you is fashion. Men don't think about fashion, so that's not a thing. But here's what you need to think about. You might need to get some new clothes, at least not entire sets of clothes. You may need, for example, we'll talk about this, a Hawaiian shirt pairs well with a shoulder holster and a CZ75B. And another reason you might need some new clothes, and just be cool with this. The point of this is, if you're going to conceal carry, it's part of a system and there's parts to this and there's other aspects of it, and just be cool with it. I hope nobody's saying, oh, I don't want to buy a new belt, and so then I'm not going to conceal carry. You'll be thinking about that as your head's getting stomped in an alleyway. So another reason for you maybe to need some new clothes, if you have an inside the waistband gun, that might add an inch and a half or so of thickness to your belt line. So you may need to get bigger jeans. And this, of course, is the one time it is cool and awesome to get larger jeans.
And the entire female audience just went, but that's a hard no, Mr. Tate.
Exactly. Well, for reasons that you can elaborate on in a moment, I don't think inside the waistband is an awesome carry method for women. Yeah, you've tried it and you're saying, nope. Another factor to consider is how easy it is to take the holster on and off. Sometimes you just want really quick stuff for a variety of reasons, like clip on, and other times it doesn't matter. A final consideration, and quite honestly, it doesn't merit a ton of discussion in my estimation, and that is whether you should get a Kydex holster or leather holster. Kydex is this wonder plastic stuff that kind of molds to the gun and really keeps them in securely. It is my preference. Leather is usually more expensive, and it soaks up body oils and odors and is not awesome. But think about that. There's nothing wrong with leather. It's just something to consider. I think probably 85% of the holster world is Kydex. And now I'm about to make a statement that should shock some people. Are you ready, Shelby? Are you sitting down?
Yes.
Yes? Men and women are different.
Yeah, I was just going to jump in there, and after you got done, most of what you were saying does not apply to women.
Yeah. Well, this is the show is for both men and women. But see, and I think drawing out the contrasts between this, number one, is informative. Number two, I'm really talking to men and in this show, and I think you're really talking to women.
Yes, exactly.
Guys, just because it works for you doesn't mean it works for her. And you need to acknowledge that because you got to have your lady carrying. You have to. You can't be there all the time. You just can't bet her life on, well, that's dumb. Inside the waistband works for me. Yes, ma'am.
So can I throw in some? I want to throw in the considerations that women have to consider.
Yes.
Especially wearing on their body. There's the fashion thing. And I talk about this in my books. Honestly, I don't know very many women, but there are them. And not very many women carry on a belt. Very few women wear a belt. Mm-hmm. We don't like to wear a belt.
Very few women's pants have like belt loops. I mean, it's fundamentally different.
So, and then stick some, in the way we're shaped, typically you stick something on there. It's going to stick out. It's very difficult to carry. And then now you're talking about having to put layers on over that. What I'm seeing more and more in the concealed carry world for women is spandex, the world of leggings and having leggings that can carry or...
I'm liking this so far.
I know. Mm-hmm. There's also what I have a lot of, and we'll get more into it, is compression, vests and girdles and belly bands. And I have a belly band. I don't necessarily like them so much because they kind of creep up and down, but... there's that, and we'll get into those products that are my favorites. So I'm going to tell you my favorites. The other thing I'm going to tell you about is I really do want to have a discussion about purses because that's really important, I think. But I also want to direct people to, I did a blog post on my website about 2 years ago after I talk about a great discussion we had at a prepping expo that we had been at where the guys were coming up to me going, oh my gosh, let me see how you're carrying, because I was wearing a fairly form-fitting sweater. And I said, can you guys tell that I'm carrying? No, you're not carrying. And I flashed them my lower back, and it was shocking. Also showed them my purse. So what was so heartening to me is that the gentlemen were like, what are you using? Because I want to show these things to the females in my life. And I encourage men, yes, know these products and go with the women in your life and go to the store with them and go to the websites and direct them in this way. But a good place to start is my website, agreatstate.com. There's down the left-hand side, there's a link that says Shelby Says, and that's basically my blog roll. And it's an older post, but many of the things we'll talk about, these things are still there, but we'll talk about some of those things there, and we'll talk about some of the failures, a couple of things out there. I'm like, no, you're not going to find me recommending them. Sorry. And a couple of the new updates, because I do carry a little bit differently now since writing this blog post, which is great. It
is. And I think what we'll do is we'll go through the outline and the list I mentioned earlier of traditional stuff. And then she'll be doing color commentary on all of those. And then I think the really cool part of this show will be Shelby talking about the compression stuff and just, just freewheeling on it. So the first topic is belt holsters. And that's pretty obvious. They're holsters that go on or inside a belt. The starting point with belt holsters is not holsters. It's the belt. You have to have a good belt. You have to have a gun belt that is strong and rigid. If you have some cheesy little $2, belt, it's like I got it at JCPenney's.
It came with the pants you bought.
It came with the pants with the Garanimals that I got back in the 70s. That's not good enough. Yet again, something that you have to do if you're going to be serious about concealed carrying. The reason for a good belt is pretty obvious. If you go to pull that gun out and it's fumbling around and flopping around on a belt, you have a huge problem. So there's two kinds of belt holsters, inside the waistband and outside the waistband. If you're looking for things, you'll often see it called IWB and OWB, so that's what that acronym means. Inside the waistband, as the name implies, means the gun is between you and the belt, and it's a lot more concealable. You don't see the sort of the lower half of the gun. IWBs are fine. Inherent in all of this is you've got to have a gun that's sized for you, and that's a whole different show. But we just assume you have a gun that's sized for you. One of the disadvantages to IWBs that I found the painful way was that if you have it and it's kind of digging into the side of you, and you go on a long road trip,
it hurts.
It hurts. Yeah. What are your thoughts on IWB for women? I think I know what they are.
It's exactly the same. Well, first of all, women. I don't, when I put inside the waistband, all it does is tug at my jeans that are already probably a little too tight, and I don't want it to be any more tighter. So there's already the discomfort of that, of the jeans, then the tugging on it. And typically for me, different than men, I have to pull up an undershirt, a shirt, a t-shirt, and then something else. So for me to get to that in a somewhat quick manner is difficult. And I'm going to stop us right there and give a quick shout out to one of our great sponsors, over there at Minutemen Coffee.
Delish.
They are the ones who fuel this show. Thank you so much to them. They have great blends of Patriot-inspired coffees. We, of course, love the I Miss America blend, which is our signature blend with them. Use the term at checkout, I Miss America, get 15% off your order. And, of course, you can find all of our sponsors over at our website at prepping2-0.com. Just click on the Friends and Affiliates page.
You bet. So let's return to Iwbs, inside the waistband. Yeah, it's probably the most common carry method. I think it works relatively well for men. It works very poorly for women. So consider that. The next one is outside the waistband, and that's not like a cowboy holster. We're talking like something that usually clips on to your belt, and the gun is outside of the belt. That
works much better for women. And what if I am wearing a belt? I like that. And here's what I do use. If I do an outside the waistband, I'll do that. I have a really pretty, not going to lie, it's pretty, SIG P238 that has a special coating on it that's very decorative. So I use a leather holster, a leather outside the waistband holster, so that because the Kydex would scratch that. Yeah. So that's just aesthetics. That has nothing to do with comfort. But yeah, if I'm going to wear on my waistband, I will do outside the waistband. Yeah, and it's much more comfortable. The downside is now all of the gun is potentially visible instead of the half of it that's like behind, it's like in your pants and all that kind of stuff. So consider that. But it is more comfortable. Well, there's another category of carry, a pocket carry. And before I mention that, I want to be really clear what pocket carry is not. Pocket carry is not putting a gun in your pocket and that's it. Horrible, terrible, dangerous, dumb idea. You always have to have something over the trigger guard when you carry a gun, because this happens all the time. People will throw a pistol in, like, all Hollywood style. Pistol in their pocket and their car keys are in there, and their car keys get in, to touch the trigger, and then they move around and the keys fire the trigger, and then you've got a gunshot coming out of your pants, maybe into your leg, maybe into somebody else. Horrible, terrible idea. And also potential for arteries to be struck in such a situation too. That's very scary. Exactly. So when we talk about pocket carry, we mean a specific pocket carry holster that is designed for little teeny guns that covers up the trigger guard. So that is an option, pocket carry. And as long as it's a real pocket carry holster, okay, maybe you can only do little teeny guns in it. But I think Shelby has a message for us. Yeah, I don't recommend pocket carry. And also the potential for it to falling out. Let's just be honest. Ladies use the restroom differently than men do. Potential for a firearm to hit the floor in a bathroom, that is not a good situation at all. And so when we come back, we're going to talk about a couple of the other ways of carrying, and we're going to talk through some of my favorite ways that women can carry. So don't go away. We're just really getting started here, folks.
More Prepping 2.0 with authors Glenn Tate and Shelby Gallagher is coming right up. Hear all our previous shows free online at prepping2-0.com.
Prepping 2.0 is about that next level of prepping. One of the key 2.0 items to have is bulletproof body armor plates. I used to think body armor was too tactical for a regular guy like me, but it isn't. Give yourself, your family, and your team an unfair advantage when bullets are flying. Body armor used to be expensive and hard to get. Not anymore. KD Armor, and that stands for Come and Take It, makes solid and affordable body armor for normal people. Get body armor while you can. The clowns in Congress are trying to prohibit future sales. KD Armor is the place to get it. CATI armor.com. Prepping 2.0 listeners get a 10% discount when you use the coupon code GRANT.
Abe Lincoln here. In 1773, patriots broke the chains of British tyranny by throwing tea into Boston Harbor. On that day, Americans began drinking coffee. We celebrate that event daily here at Minutemen Coffee. All men are created equal. Coffee is not. Minutemen Coffee is roasted to perfection in small batches. Bold, smooth, and never bitter. Shipped to you fresh daily. Whole bean, ground, or our patented pods. www.minutemencoffee.com.
Shelby Gallagher here. We found that you need to layer your food preps.
Yeah, this is Glenn Tate here. A lot of times the hardest part of layering is the long-term foods. We love Numana foods, which have a 25-year shelf life and are non-GMO. Also, organic meals are available.
Numana comes in family-style portions and in bulk. This is not backpacking food. It's family meals that last for at least 25 years. The perfect freeze-dried part of your food layering.
You can get a sample of Numana meals for $19.95 and see for yourself. You will be amazed.
Prepping 2.0 listeners get a 10% discount by entering the code PREP.
Go to Numana.com or click the link on the Prepping 2.0 website.
Give it a try. Numana.com. That is NUMANNA.com.
When the grid goes down, darkness will descend fast. Used to be there was nothing you could do about an EMP, electromagnetic pulse, or CME, coronal mass ejection. Now you can protect your electronics, protect your family, thanks to Emp Shield. Emp Shield invented a simple-to-install device that prevents whatever's connected to it from frying in an EMP or CME, and it costs just a few $100s. Emp Shield has been tested by independent laboratories and passed muster with the government, which has ordered lots of them. Google Emp Shield and see for yourself. And save some money. Get a $50 discount per device. Go to prepping2-0.com. Click on the Friends and Affiliates page, then click on the Emp Shield logo. At checkout, use coupon code PREPPING 2.0. It's all one word.
PrepperNet, where preppers unite. Looking to meet other like-minded people in your area? Looking to start your own prepper group? Already have a group? Join PrepperNet.com. PrepperNet has gathered the biggest names in the industry to help unite preppers everywhere. Join John Jacob Schmidt, Scott Hunt, Dr. Bones and Nurse Amy, Glenn Tate, Shelby Gallagher, Charlie Hogwood, Samuel Culper, Survivor Jane, Rick Austin, Franklin Horton, Ryan Mitchell, and Brian Duff. Our team is united. Check us out at PrepperNet.com. PrepperNet, where preppers unite. PrepperNet.com.
Now, more of Prepping 2.0 with authors Glenn Tate and Shelby Gallagher.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Shelby Gallagher over here at Prepping 2.0. We were just talking about waistband carrying, in and out, pros and cons, pocket carries, pros and cons. Now we're going to talk about ankle holsters, which I think are silly.
Yeah, ankle holsters are dumb, and you can only carry little teeny guns on them. Because when you're walking around, I mean, physics and everything, it's like, it's really hard to keep stuff in. A lot of them are elastic. They don't carry very big guns.
It takes a lot of getting used to, too.
A lot of getting used to. I mean, I can't really see a good use for commonly carrying with an ankle holster. Maybe there's some specialty things. You're in a vehicle, you want to have a second gun, but whatever. Just not really a serious contender. Well, here's a way of carrying that used to not be a serious contender, and now I kind of think it is because I tried it out and it worked well, and that's shoulder holster. And we all know, like Miami Vice, shoulder holsters.
Well, and you think of all the cop shows.
Yeah.
And when I think of shoulder holster, that's what I think of. I also think of revolvers.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Especially the 90s.
Yes.
And that kind of thing. And so I kind of didn't pay a lot of attention to it. And then it all stemmed from driving long distances with an inside the waistband holster and my back hurting. And I said, wait a minute, I don't have to have a gun in my belt. I can have it on my shoulder. I am a big fan of two companies, Alien Gear and Galco, for shoulder holsters. And it's not like a brand comparison. And we're just trying to get folks familiarized with it and really focus on the differences women have, because that's the main focus of this show. But one of the cool things about shoulder holster carry, besides the fact that it doesn't dig into your back, is that you can carry real guns, like full-size guns, like in my case.
And conceal them.
Exactly, like a CZ75B, which is a big gun. You can't carry it any other way. And so you get a real gun with, and then the magazine holders are on the other side of the gun, and you can have two 17-round mags, 17-round mag in there. Very easy to draw, very secure. We won't get into the details of it, but a surprisingly awesome carry method. I highly recommend. I have a little gun in a shoulder holster, and they work for big guns and little guns. And what are your thoughts?
Well, what I like about this, and there is a way for women to do this. So hang tight. We're going to talk about this, which is functionally ends up being the same. You can conceal carry a fairly large firearm, and you have really close to instant access to it. Yeah. That's the other thing. So women, there's an answer for you on this. So no, I'm not going to ask you to go get the leather straps and crisscross your back and then try and cover that up with, a tank top. No, I got an answer for you, because I really do like this method too for women. Yeah,
it's great. And another thing about shoulder holsters is they work particularly well with revolvers. Remember that whole thing at the beginning about revolvers? Because revolvers have that cylinder. It's a little wider, and it's not as good for inside the waistband. I have a shoulder holster for a Smith & Wesson 686, which is a big revolver in 357, and it works splendidly well. You can get them, they point up and down for like a big long gun, like a 686, or you can get them so they point, horizontally for like regular guns. One of the things I think comes into play with shoulder holsters, and it's no big deal, it relates back to the fashion thing and maybe having to get some new clothes. A shoulder holster with a long gun, you're not going to be able to wear like your normal tank top or something, because that gun is still a little bit long. Hawaiian shirts are awesome, especially in the summer. So Hawaiian shirts, the kind of the Carhartt shirts. Yeah, hoodie. Some hoodies work, and it's easy to draw when you have a hoodie on and just put your hand up and pull it out and everything. So just consider the clothing component when you're thinking about shoulder holster, but give it a thought on some guns you may have. Yes, ma'am. Well, and let me say this too. The more we go into this, we're going to go into some more brands. We're not getting any perks from branding on this. Point. We are just bringing to you the products that we have grown to really like. And again, there's one in particular that I don't like. So I want to kind of flag that and let folks know, think about that before you do that. But yeah, so yeah, the Galco brand, and I'm forgetting the other one you said, Alien Gear. So yeah. Can I just say Alien Gear is a dumb name for a holster company? It is. I mean, can't you guys do better? Couldn't you call it like Glenn and Shelby Holster Company? Something that everyone would love. Everyone would know that brand, right? I know. So what's next? Off-body carry, and as the name implies, this is where it's not like 100% on your body, but it's still within reach. The two big categories of that are cargo pocket carry and purse carry. Now, I can address cargo pocket carry, and Shelby can address purse carry at length, which is why you're listening to the show, to get that perspective. So real quickly, cargo pocket is okay, not ideal. First of all, you have to be wearing cargo pockets, which usually implies warm weather and shorts. And your gun kind of flops around in there. I mean, it's not really tethered to anything. It takes a little bit of time to pull it out, and it doesn't naturally separate from the holster like if it were attached with a belt. And it's kind of like pocket carry, but it's like on the side of your leg instead of like a regular pocket. Not highly recommended, can be done for a little gun, but quite honestly, it was like off body. Oh, okay, we should probably tell folks about cargo pocket. I don't think a serious concealed carry person is going to rely exclusively on cargo pocket carry, because I think it's like something you use in a particular situation, like warm weather. Shelby, take it. Oh, do you have a question on that? Well, let me just add to that too. I think that there's some discussions out there on fanny pack. I forgot fanny pack. Yes, thank you. Jeez, or Louisers. So you did that for a little while, in particular when you were going to and from the gym. Yeah. And it was for a specific kind of going into the gym, coming out of the gym, and then you would do kind of a change out in the vehicle. So I don't know that is something that you're going to do all day. Right. No one wears a fanny pack all day, but I think fanny pack is worth noting if you need it for just kind of that transfer short time because you're doing a specific activity. So I want to add to that. Thank you for reminding me of that. And to add to that, basically, I go to the gym and I needed a gun while I was working out. I know that sounds weird, but you don't know my life. And so what I did is I took a small gun, a Glock 27, and put it in a fanny pack, and I made sure that it came out easily. It wasn't flopping around. There was a trigger guard, all that protection.
And you kept it with you at all times.
I kept it with me. So what I do is I take it to the gym, and the cool thing is it looks like a fanny pack that's full of, I don't know, lip balm or like whatever.
Deodorant, a little towel, whatever, yeah.
Whatever people put in fanny packs. Unfamiliar with that. For me, it's guns. And I take it, and then I would clip it on my exercise machine, right? So that it wasn't going anywhere. Still in my control. A lot of state laws say that if you have a concealed carry permit, it has to be on your body or within your immediate grasp.
Control, yeah.
And so thank you for reminding me, very specific carry method for a very specific thing. I don't see a lot of people, doing fanny packs 24/7. They're kind of slightly coming back more in style, but... So one thing I want to stop and give another quick shout out to one of our other great sponsors. Our listeners might remember Jared Savick. He joined us back at the end of 2020 talking about moving. People who are thinking about moving to a place where they can be better prepped. He and his wonderful wife are realtors in the Kalispell, Montana area, and as preppers themselves, they have a good idea of what makes a good prepper property, whether you want a turnkey or to build your own place. They have properties in town, out of town, and way out of town. Yeah. So you might be listening to that going, well, I want to talk to somebody, but I don't, Kalispell's not on my list. That's okay. Contact them. All of Montana is covered.
Yep. So go ahead and check them out at their website, Seize the Day Montana. SeizeTheDayMT.com, and tell them Shelby and Glenn sent you. Great folks over there. Another quick shout out to Numana Foods. Great bulk freeze-dried food. Some special dietary things too. Organics, gluten-free, bulk freeze-dried food. Great folks over there. And if you use the coupon code PREP, lowercase PREP, at checkout, you get 10% off. And of course, all of these folks you can find on our website, prepping2-0.com. Friends and affiliates, Shelby's purse.
Yes, this is the part of the show where I say one off-body carry method, Shelby, would be a purse. You have developed over a number of years a system. There's a lot to this, and men, you need to listen to this too. Shelby, take it away about purse carry.
So there's a lot of purses out there. I'm going to spend a little bit of time on this. First of all, I do not carry in my purse primarily. Because it is off body, it's too easy to steal a purse, for your purse to not, it's too easy. I'd rather it be on my body. But if I need to carry in my purse, I have a love-hate relationship with trying to find a purse because I'm picky. First of all,
she married me.
I did. Kind of the bulk of concealed carry purses out there have two methods. One, a zipper that's lockable on a purse, or a side pocket that you reach in and it's got a Velcroed down holster. The locked purse I used to use quite a bit when my kids were little, and I would lock my firearm in my purse in the house for safety reasons. Not still ideal, but what happens is I'm out in public with my firearm in my purse locked. So if I need it, it's very difficult to get to it quickly. It's like, excuse me, Mr. Bad Guy, where's my keys? Where's my keys? The second one is kind of the same thing with the Velcro method is if I have to get to it, I've got to go, through like some pretty heavy duty Velcro to get that firearm out. And I just didn't like these kind of side pockets that were very wonky to get into. And then the third reason why I don't like most concealed carry purses is because they look like a country western song barfed on them. They are bejeweled, bedazzled, unprofessional.
They look like some out of Reba McEntire's closet.
And I'm not against Western wear, but I'm not going to carry that purse into a professional meeting. I'm not going to carry that especially my professional life. So, problem solved. I met some great ladies at the 12-6 company. I met them at a gun show in Portland years and years ago, and they have full grain leather, double layered. So it's going to be a lot of leather, custom made leather purses that are very professional. You're not going to.
They look fabulous. I got to say.
Right. They are not going to be. Well, you could probably have it custom made. Let me step back though too. Most concealed carry purses are going to be north of $100. Most of the time closer to $200. So these are not inexpensive. I found a purse with them, and you can see it on the website. And it still looks new. I've had it now almost 5 years. I carry it everywhere I go. That thing is tougher than nails because of the full grain leather. And you can see the inside of the purse, the conceal area. It's a pocket inside the purse. So it is a reach inside the pocket, reach down and pull out. And it's got a flap over the trigger guard.
You don't even know what gun's in there. By the way, she mentions the article that's in the show notes. But if you want to get on the Googles, as the kids say, it's What's in Shelby's Purse is the name of the article. And I Googled it a minute ago. It's the only thing that comes up, by the way.
It is the only thing that comes up. So I totally recommend the ladies over at 12.6. They do have ones that you can shop for on their website. And you can also custom make it. It'll take them a couple of months, but everything now is taking a couple of months. The particular one that I carry, the name of that purse is called Come Hell or High Water Series Tote.
It's like it was made for you, baby.
It is. And I'm going to say this. I remember when I first got it, I took it out of the bag and the purse itself empty is heavy. That's probably the one downside to it. This is not a lightweight little purse. The purse, because of the double grain or the double layer of full grain leather, it's a heavy purse. And then when you start putting all this stuff in it, it gets a little heavy.
And you mentioned, you can shop for purses. If I may interject, gentlemen, do not buy your wife a purse of any kind, concealed carry or otherwise, because you think it looks cool, because you don't know what cool is, and purses are like shoes and watches and everything else. Everybody has their own tastes. So please shop with her.
Yeah, take her to the website.
Take her to the website or something like that. Guys, there are a few things on earth we cannot pull off, and buying a purse that our wife really, really likes is one of those things.
I will say this, when I bought this purse, I'm sure the prices have probably changed. It was in the $400 range. I've not bought another purse since then, though. So it was worth it for that one-time investment. I still am carrying that purse. So those are my thoughts on concealed carry purses. I think women are, purses are very personal, and I'm not a big purse person. I'm not one of these people that my purse has to match my shoes, match my nails. I'm not one of those people, but
thank God.
I know. I am one of these people. I want it to be a very functional, professional, nice looking purse, and I want to be done with it. And I definitely am with this one. So I recommend them. Please tell them I sent you. And we love them. We would love for any of these people that we love, because we love their products so much, to give us a call and let us know if they'd like to sponsor us. Because I love talking about things that I love. So what's up next?
There are other things in the uniquely female carry world that you mentioned, the compression things and like a tank top. Take it away with those, because quite honestly, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Okay, so for there's been a lot of change in how I carry. So I want to talk about specifically the things that I used to use to carry in the early days, and it's changed a little bit recently with some of the new technology. But all of these things I recommend, and I'm going to give you pros and cons. Unfortunately, none of them are perfect. The one concealed carry method that I was using at that preparedness expo that shocked everybody and how well I could conceal was the can concealment holster. All of these things always have a little bit of a Western flair to them. It is a compression tank that zips up in the front, and in the small of your back is the holster, and it is elastic. And so it's right up against the small of your back. I love it because I can conceal, and you have no idea what I'm carrying. I can wear that in the summer under a tank top. And I think one of the tests is for women, if I can conceal carry a firearm in summer weather with, lesser things on my body and conceal it, that's pretty good. And I can with the can. I love it.
Did you just say you can with the can?
I did. I can with the can. I have worn mine out almost. I want people to know that I have loved it and lived in it a lot, and I've gotten used to it. The downside is, there's a downside to everyone. It is in the small of your back. So if you are like me, and for years and years, I used to commute almost an hour a day to work, and that thing's grinding on your back. Not so fun. So what I would do a lot of times is I would take it out and put it in my purse while I was driving, and I would have my 12.6 purse for that. You can do that. The other thing is the reach on that to draw. I have to contort my right shoulder and reach hard behind my back. And it's not a natural motion. It hurts. And then I injured my shoulder once, and that made that reach almost impossible. However, I have a firearm, and it's on my body, and I can get to it. Comfort sometimes isn't always awesome.
Well, that's the thing. There are trade-offs about all these
Right,
things.
every single
Everyone's
one.
hearing this going, geez, there's trade-offs about this and that. Yep,
Yep,
and yes.
there is every time. So I'm going to touch on one more, and we may have to carry some of this into the after show, folks,
Often
especially the new stuff that I want to talk to you about. Please join us over there. My very first compression holster. I love this gal. Her name's Anna, and she runs the website, the company Dean Adams, D-E-N-E, Dean Adams. She named it after her grandfather. And that was the first compression holster. It is simply just a wide, about 9 inches tall waistband. And it kind of snaps up the front like a bra does, like the little hook and eye.
Unfamiliar.
And it has a pocket on each side. So I could, and I have before, feasibly carried 2 firearms, basically right up against my lower ribs.
Easy to access.
Easy to access. And that's what I liked about it. Easy to access. Again, sitting is sometimes difficult, but it is with any time you have a firearm in that area. Or I can do one firearm on one side and I can do mags on the other. I can't do that with the can because the holster bottoms out. It has a hole on the bottom. Love them. The other thing that I love that they did, since for the longest time, all they had were kind of these, just kind of like this girdle. They also added a tank top with the front carry. So it's like the can, but everything's in the front. Love it. I got one of those and made summer carrying even better. So love them. I've had several of their, 2 of their products now for a long time. Each one of these things you're going to run you $100. And they've added more to their line. So I totally encourage that line. Those are the 2 that have really gotten me. If I have those things right there, my can, my Dean Adams, and my purse, I can carry 95% of the time with the current wardrobe that I have. So one last thing, I do want to jump here. I'm going to take a quick break and say a quick shout out to a couple more of our awesome sponsors. We couldn't do what we did without them.
You wouldn't be hearing this without them.
No. Backwoods Home Magazine, love them. We just got our latest installment from them. Again, anytime I think about maybe I should do this, let's think about this skill. There it is. There it is. So encourage you again to go check them out. If you use at checkout the digit 6 and the word OFF 6 off, you get $6 off your subscription. Totally recommend it. And the other great folks, and we just got a great review of them, Katie Armour.
CATI, which stands for Come and Take It.
They deal in body armor for the average Joe, not for the military. Derek Smiley, one of our great listeners and has been a guest a couple times, said he just got a great order from them. It took him about 6 weeks, but everything's taking about 6 weeks, and they fulfilled it, and he loves it. I encourage you, if you've thought about any sort of personal body armor, do it now. Laws could be changing. So use the term GRANT, G-R-A-N-T, at checkout, and you'll get 10% off your order. Phew, what else?
Well, I would say keep going with the Shelby's ways to carry. I mean, this is really your part of the show, and this is for, number 1, women to hear this, but number 2, men to hear this, and so they don't, for example, just watch an episode of Miami Vice and get their wife a leather shoulder holster and then act all weird when the wife's like, is this for real? I mean, are you kidding me?
Well, and I will add this, that I think a lot of time is forgotten in this, and I talk about this specific products on that What's in Shelby's Purse. If your wife, person, teenager possibly is reticent to carry, there are other non-lethal methods out there. I encourage you to think that through.
These are some of the things that are in Shelby's purse, if I recall in the article.
A stun gun flashlight. Those are awesome.
Fun at parties.
Fun at parties. I'll tell you what, a taser or a stun gun, when you snap one of those and hit it and it makes that crackling sound, I did that at the Preparedness Expo and the entire room jumped. If you do it when the cat's in the room, it can be kind of entertaining.
That's fun.
I'll tell you what, when a bad guy hears that, and I had to do it once when I lived in Portland and I had a homeless deranged idiot coming up to me, it makes most people stop. That will stop the threat. And that's my shoe squeaking on the chair. Sorry. Pepper spray. I talk about good, not just off the, at the checkout stand pepper spray. Good,
convenience store pepper spray on a keychain, not recommended.
Good pepper spray. And I also talk about a flashlight. You got me started on a really awesome, major blinding flashlight. Shine a flashlight in someone's eye sometime, and you just took it. You just swung the balance of power in that exchange. So think through some non-lethal ways that you can defend yourself, and like I just said, swing that bar of power. So we only have like another minute or so here. What are your thoughts, though, Glenn, as we start to wrap this up? And we're going to leave everyone hanging. I'm going to tell you what my what my most favorite way to carry these days is in the after show.
I would say this, gentlemen, you know that your lady needs to carry, and that's okay. But yes, dear, you have a thought?
Yeah, I do. I just realized we have like 3 more minutes.
I know we do.
We don't need to wrap up.
I wonder what you were doing, but I just trust you. Do you notice that?
I do. Go ahead.
So I guess I'll wrap up later. So continue with what you were talking about.
Great. So I alluded to it, the whole shoulder holster way to carry. Basically, the firearm is in your armpit.
A little lower, hopefully.
A little lower. It's in your rib cage under your arm.
Your side ribs.
Side ribsy area.
Ribular region.
Yes. And I've seen this product for the longest time, and I couldn't figure out if it's something I wanted to get. And then I saw some sort of blog post or YouTube where a woman was like, today's fashion, especially in the winter, all of the things I just talked about, the compression holders on your body, that becomes a real problem when it's winter and you put on a sweater and a heavy coat and a scarf because you can't get to your firearm easily. It then becomes trying to dig it out. Really recommend the idea of a compression tank top, and they're sold at undertechundercover.com. It's a little much. They're out of stock a lot of times. Encourage you to think about that. What I do is I wear one of these tank tops on top of just a regular like t-shirt or even a long sleeve shirt.
So the tank is
on top.
The first layer. Oh, is over the t-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, and then when I put on a slouchy sweater, which is the kind of the big look right now. It's kind of slouchy sweaters that come down to your knees and they're slightly opened in the front. You can't tell I'm carrying. I can carry and wear a very professional looking outfit and have my firearm at immediate access. That's awesome. So that's kind of my new way of carrying is the compression tank tops. And I use a tank top either on top of a long sleeve shirt in the winter. I don't need, and then just wear it by itself with a regular tank underneath a shirt in the summer. And it's super comfortable for all the reasons we talked about for a shoulder holster. Wow, so cool. So folks, we're going to talk about more of this in the after show. Don't go away. We have more to talk about, but don't ever forget, failing to prepare is preparing to fail. Benjamin Franklin. Have a great week, everyone.
You've been listening to Prepping 2.0 with authors Glenn Tate and Shelby Gallagher. All the information you've heard today, including all our previous shows, is online at prepping2-0.com. Find out more about Glenn's books at 299days.com and Shelby's books at agreatstate.com. Until next time, be smart, be safe, and be prepared.